Live from the Iron Fist Tournament, it's Super Gamekast 2. Now here's your host, Bronson Fiore.
What is up, everybody? It is Sunday, February 19, 2023, and you are listening to Super Gamekast 2. I'm your host, Bronson Fiore, joined by the always awesome Aaron Reynolds.
Always awesome, always in control of this volume knob right here. This volume knob. Damn.
Did I blow your eardrums out? Or
No, you're fine. I did not blow the eardrums out of our listeners with this music. But hey, we're all good. God, let me tell you, man.
2 weeks in a row, good starts.
Yes.
All right, well, cool. We also have our mod mommy, the lovely Emily Holslander.
What's up, my nerds?
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Kinda partial to Momily.
Momily?
Mod Momily.
Mom.
Fuck all of you. Okay.
And then finally, our very own HR Ninja, Jesse Pewitt.
Hello. Good morning.
One day you legit need to do the podcast like a ninja outfit.
One day. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we have
Super easy. And you just get a black t-shirt and you can wrap that around your head and fold it in such a way that it looks like a ninja
easy.
ninja head.
Oh,
Yeah, super
there you
easy.
go.
When's the next Sunday that happens on Halloween?
Not this
I think
one,
it's not
I don't
for
think.
another few years.
All right. Well,
hold on.
I'll hold you to it then.
Yeah, like 6 years.
Yeah, so...
We'll probably be doing this podcast still in 6 years, right?
I'm
Right.
ready.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. Whatever.
I'm gonna look at my calendar real quick.
God damn it. I'm looking through. Oh, it's the 2027.
No, so, excuse me, 4 years.
Just gonna
4
mark
years
this
will
off my
prepare.
calendar right here. All right.
You know,
Hold
it would
you
be
to
even
it.
Like
better
getting all
is
the
if I'm
ninja
dressed
gear.
up like a ninja and then I just don't say anything the entire podcast.
Yeah, just be there.
Just
That'd
be
be
like,
pretty funny, actually.
That would actually be pretty good.
oh,
God
God.
damn it. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. You know,
Good.
it was a long week, but I got through it. You know,
It was a long week. I spent 2 days in hearings, so it was great.
Okay,
Wait.
fun.
2 days in Uring?
Hearings?
Hearings.
Earrings. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Don't you love
Fantastic.
hearings?
they're so good.
Over under. Hearings better than meetings, worse than meetings?
Worse.
Worse. Awesome. Very
I would
good.
imagine worse.
I know, like, I know that, like, my job is looking for, like, new managers for certain positions, and then, like, a couple days later, another email went out, hey, just remind everyone, we need 3 of these. And I'm just like, this has to be because, like, no one applied, right?
Mhm.
That's why you're
Mhm.
sending this out,
No one wants
you
this.
know? Because no one. Because I looked through the responsibility list and I'm just like, I think I'm good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. That's good. That's all right.
Mhm.
Well, especially the part was like daily, weekly, and monthly meetings,
Yay.
and I'm just like,
No.
I just saw Ninja's eyes, just like,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking. I am at the point in my career where I am in more meetings than I am not.
Oh,
And
man.
it just makes me want to like.
that sounds like hell.
It's brutal. It's brutal. And I'm
Sounds
like,
like
when am I
hell
supposed to
on
do my
earth.
actual work? Like,
Oh, buddy.
You
Yeah.
know?
Terrible.
And like, I bet that like half of them are pointless.
yes.
You can clarify it in a fucking like just oh god. The way that corporate is built is just miserable and I hate it.
If you were looking for some talk on corporate work, whether it be video game or otherwise, you've turned into the right podcast. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. We're old.
Oh.
We're gonna talk about work.
We're talking about work.
We are... Oh,
You know, video game work.
But work in
Oh.
video games will be taking up a portion of our news. But you
Yeah.
know that you turned into a video game podcast with a bunch of 30-year-olds. You knew what you were getting
Yeah.
into.
You knew what you were getting when you turned into the boomer stream.
That's right. That's right.
It's Super Boomer Cast 2.
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
I forgot we're the Gamecast now. I got to list it as the Gamecast. We committed to that.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. We've jettisoned the 2.
Yep.
Just sent the 2 out the airlock.
We didn't need
Watched its head explode.
it. We thought it was funny, and then stopped being funny 3 years later.
Yeah, well, it's stopped being funny and just like it's tiring, man, and it doesn't help with SEO.
It's
Fucking
a good
hell.
inside joke, but that's about it.
Yeah, which when you're first starting out making stuff, good inside jokes are a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right.
But,
But yeah, we're the
uh,
Gamecast now.
yep.
Deal with it.
Just go to the kind of funny Gamecast, but theirs has a C and just look them. I am the captain now.
Does that mean we're obligated to play some Mortal Kombat occasionally?
Yes.
You can, sure.
I'll play Mortal Kombat. I just got other games I want to get to first.
I play through those games campaigns and a little bit of the online every time they come out. I'm reminded of like, oh yeah, I don't like this.
Those story modes are fantastic.
They're really good. I actually kind of prefer Injustice to Mortal Kombat.
I have
I
not touched
prefer
Injustice.
Injustice to Mortal Kombat.
I haven't touched it, but I hear it's good.
I really like the second one. Supergirl was my main. She was super fun.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I've been exploring some fighting games and kind of looking through. I don't mean to go on a tangent before we get into news, but just or in fact, maybe we should save that for after news. Just been playing some fighting games and have some thoughts and opinions. So,
all right. Well,
we'll save that.
We'll get into the main bit here of hey guys, corporate news is super fun.
Corporate news is super fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the funnest.
I actually also put it in the wrong feed. I put it in news for the week and not docket. That's my bad.
I mean,
kind of a scrambling morning.
They both serve essentially the same purpose.
Mhm,
like we're
mhm.
good.
Yeah, just one's just a giant pool for me to get from the week.
Right.
Anyway.
Yep.
Speaking of bullshit that companies are doing, though, Activison is getting rid of all work from home policies.
Yeah.
Well, fuck.
Treat
Here
your
we go.
employees right. Make them work in the office.
Yeah, how are you going to effectively beat them otherwise?
Yeah. How can you micromanage your employees otherwise? I don't.
See, my thought process is how else are they going to pay for this? Why would they keep paying for this office space and this statue that they've made?
It's about the statue.
That's what it's really about.
It's...
They have to give up this land if they make everyone work from home, and then like, what do you do with this statue?
Sell it to some rich collector? I bet you someone would buy it.
Someone
some
has
rich
to be
nerd.
out there that can afford it and has like a way too large yard. They have no idea what to do with.
I mean, to be fair, if I could afford it, it could fit in my yard.
It could fit in your yard. You're right. Neighborhood would be fitting
Put it
for
on my
Thrall.
balcony.
What Ninja?
I could put it on my balcony.
I don't know if you could. I don't know if it would hold
this
it.
thing is huge.
That's
Like,
it. That's huge. It probably
It looks
super
right over
heavy.
this like relatively busy street. People driving by could see it, and like just
and people driving just go, "What in the actual shit is that?
what the hell is that?
Wow. Okay, so the quote here, let's see, office work would resume on April 10th for Activision Publishing employees and July 10th for Blizzard employees. Employees for both divisions will be required to come to the office 3 days a week. The spokesperson added that the King portion of the publisher went back to the office in July 2022. The cadence of those in-office days are set by King's team leaders to fit the needs of each team. Quote, Activision Blizzard has been returning teams to the office over the past year, the spokesperson said. They continued by saying that the office days were created in partnership with the leadership of each team and customized based on what's best for the business and team. We look forward to the increased in-person collaboration and so I understand that there are pros to working in the same space with other people.
Absolutely.
Like 100%. And the way it's described here does not sound terrible. Like not like 5 days a week we're back in at full grind. But it like making it mandated. It's
Well, it's not only that, but like look at like Blizzard's I'm going to focus on Blizzard in particular because it's the one I know the most about. But like, look at Blizzard's output since the pandemic and everyone went home. We have gotten, in that time frame, you got TBC and Wrath Classic. You got Overwatch 2. You got Dragonflight, which is the best WoW's been in 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
You have, and then Diablo 4 is almost done and looks pretty great. So it's like really hard for me to sit here and be like, oh, they would be totally much more productive in the office. And then
yeah.
And then also as someone who works in an office and like will literally have meetings over Teams, even though we're all in the office.
Yeah, see, there's
Right.
that's something.
Like, okay, then why can't we work from home with this?
Why are we doing?
Like, there's so much of that where it's just like, are you fucking kidding? Like, what, and then you think of all the time you lose, like, and the argument that was brought forth to me from someone higher up in the company was the fact that, well, we noticed productivity numbers for this particular team that I was on at the time were down when we were at home.
We're down,
So,
huh?
yeah. Because people weren't fully focused on the work. It was just like, okay, but like,
Who cares if it's been
bruh.
putting out good shit?
It's like, if the work gets done, and then their argument is, well, then we got to go to corporate, and corporate is like, well, if your productivity numbers are higher, we can get you more work and possibly more pay. But anyone who's worked in it long enough know that's that's horse shit.
Yep.
Right.
So, yeah,
So what is that really then?
just more work for same pay.
Well, no, for why are they even bothering to come up with an excuse that people know is bullshit?
Because
what is it they're actually covering for?
Like, why do they want you in the office?
I mean,
or like
yeah, I just because I mean there are a number of theories. It's middle managers needing to justify their jobs, or
it's a combination of things. I think it's middle managers need to justify their jobs. I think that it's like, well, in theory, let's say you are more productive in the office, the numbers are better, they can go to corporate and say, hey, we can assign these guys more work if they're in the office. I think it's, to an extent, they like to micromanage people, and it's a control thing. I think in this case, like you said, that building, they probably have that building leased out for like 30 years and don't want to eat the cost on it.
Yep.
And it's a control thing, because if people get too much free time, they'll realize, the system's bullshit. So
fair enough.
Well, they're giving you it's the carrot and the stick, but they're not actually giving you the carrot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Black Catter, what's up?
Yo, Black Catter.
Good morning.
Yeah. And I totally get people, like, some people prefer working in the office. There was a point in my life where I preferred working in the office. Because when I worked in insurance, I had the option. And for the first 2.5 years I was there, almost 3, I didn't work from home at all. I was like, no, I'm going to keep coming in. And then I started doing hybrid, and then COVID happened. I was fully remote, and I was just like, oh, fuck yeah, this is the way to live.
Right.
So... yeah, because one, you save money because you're not eating out, you're not eating at the work cafe, you're eating your own food at home.
Yep.
You're saving money you're not driving, so you're just like, it's an effective pay raise, is what it is. And then you combine that pay raise with the fact that, like, you just get a lot more of your life back. Because, like, I have a short commute. My commute is about 15-20 minutes tops.
Damn.
And I still fucking hate it because I realize that I could be at home.
Yep.
Yep. And like, you think, like, okay, that's 40 minutes each way, each day. Like, that's hours of your life that are just for no fucking purpose.
Yep.
Like, and there's a lot of stuff like that where it's, so it's, oh, yeah, man.
There is some promising bits here, leaving it to the leadership of each team, customized based on what's best for the business and for the team. but that there is a mandated 3 days a week. Well, I don't know how flexible or inflexible that actually is.
They probably have a preference, like they're in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then out Thursday, Friday.
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever. Yeah.
Whatever works
Yeah.
for people, right? But
Mm.
yeah, it's that's something that I hope to eventually get, is something a hybrid kind of thing that'll let me get enough time to travel to a place, and then I'll come back. And if it's a good group of people, like I like being able to get together in person with people, but mandating
Yep.
it is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like there have definitely been there are coworkers I really like at the office, and like seeing them, but like I don't know. My last 3 jobs have all been office jobs. 2 of them I actually went to an office, either in this case currently all the time, one case part of the time, and unless you have like a really packed house with a lot of people doing it and you can't like get away, I see almost no fucking benefit in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for you, where you're at a giant corporation, and like being there also involves this giant corporation kind of just reaching its tentacles out to every aspect of what's going on over there.
Well, right, because like you realize, yeah,
You're
I,
not
I,
like a whole group of people that are trying to accomplish one task. It's this giant creature that is sending you all out to do different tasks, but it's such a monumental operation that it cannot manage itself well, and so it's just dysfunction and
right, and then it's like they're hiring contractors, and then the contractors are selling shit, who are documents are being processed by contractors, and like there's like very few, there's very just few people that are like actually of the corporation, and it's just like, yeah, it's this big thing, like, well, you're already fucking just outsourcing the living shit out of this anyway, like,
yeah.
and in some cases I can be like, well, it's a security issue, but it's like, is it really though?
Probably to a degree
Because
for some tasks.
like, yes and no, because like I'm sitting here like thinking to myself like, well, yeah, but all this shit is open, so if you really wanted to, you could just get all this shit off the network and into your own hands anyway.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like I see game development as one case where I do see like there could be a big benefit, but on the other side, they've also made their best Warcraft expansion and their best Call of Duty game in years. So
I mean, there are a lot of games that came out in this last year or so that have been primarily work from home made, and
Mhm.
are like damn good. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, that obviously you got to defer to the developers themselves on how they felt about that process, that experience. But I don't know, they made some good ass games.
They really did, though.
Yeah,
For real.
So
like how much of Ragnarok got made in work from home situations.
entirely, a lot of otherly entirely probably. Like it's just, it's, I don't know. I get really annoyed at this whole trend of we're all going back to the office. Like I think that option should be there for like people who want it.
Yeah.
Like if there are people who love just going to the office, like great, hey, that option
More
should be
power
there
to
for
you.
you. Good for you. But I also think that in general, I don't know, like just I don't see a benefit anymore. I just don't. It's like they're spending more money on this fucking building.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're making people waste money and time.
Mm-hmm.
The product isn't any better for it. It just doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Right. Yeah.
So
This could be a real welcome change for a lot of people who do these desk jobs, and like, yeah, some things will have to change quite a bit around like how our downtown areas are all dedicated to these office spaces and fast
yeah,
food
maybe
and
you could.
restaurant around it, but like
Mhm.
Well,
adapt.
I mean, I was watching a thing about that. It's just like Well, yeah, but you could easily turn those into like apartment complexes,
Exactly.
and hey, guess what? People would probably love to live by all that food and whatnot.
Yeah, they're doing that
Yeah.
in Reno. The one of the casinos that closes is being turned into an apartment complex.
Yeah,
Nice. Hell yeah.
yeah. Like, like if you were to close the office I work in, like the people who would live in it when it's an apartment would be next to Target, GameStop, Quiznos, Starbucks, a bunch of restaurants, a bunch of like a Home Depot. Like it's so it's just like it's not going to really affect the business at all. Like it's like that money is going to go somewhere else. It's just you as a employee have a lot more control over it.
Right.
And I think that's a lot of what it comes down to is just corporate, control. That's what they want.
So it's good. It's good. So my
Feels
hope
good. Yeah.
is that some of these larger businesses continue to be flexible about this, and if nothing else, new studios and new businesses can adapt to this, because I see this as just like big businesses, big corporations just stuck in their ways. Just how we do it.
I mean, yeah, I think that a lot of big general corporations are very much slow moving to anything.
Yeah.
And it's just incredibly frustrating, and I get it because you have all that money on the line, you have the investor money, and like all this other crap, but it's also like, okay, but and then there's all those things that show people who work from home are more efficient,
Mm-hmm.
in general, and happier and less likely to quit. Like it's been proven. So
Look, if I am spending all my time at home doing whatever, I'm like coding naked, I got dildos around me while we're like watching Zoom calls and shit, I'm doing all sorts of crazy, but I put out as good a product, if not more so, why do you care?
yeah, well, exactly. Like, well, that's the thing that always drove me crazy about offices that have dress code. Like that's like, it's just like, why the fuck do you care if I'm in sweatpants? Why does
Right.
it matter? Especially if it's not client facing. Like when I was in insurance, that shit was client facing sometimes. But like, if the fucking like person on the contract comes in, they see an office full of people in sweatpants, but the work is still being done at a high level, why do they give a shit?
Why do they give a shit?
Yeah.
You know I'm a degenerate,
Right.
and you know I get the job done. God damn it.
Exactly. Exactly. No, 110%. Like,
Oh,
what the fuck,
God.
dude? I don't understand. Like, I'm just like, I've always, because like, back when I was working in insurance, like that made sense because I'm like, two words, company. Okay, but what's the liability of dudes in sweatpants or Crocs? Like that's the thing. Like it's like, if all the, are you referring to the work from home stuff? Because I know that there could be offset in time.
Yeah, Black Hatter, I need greater context.
Yeah, because if it's the dress code things, like that one especially, like the work from home stuff, company liability. Well, you have all this information out, but it's like, I have worked at a lot of office jobs, and only one of them was locked down enough to where you couldn't get a lot of information out of the office.
Right.
And even that, so it's just like, yeah.
I do think,
Like,
I imagine there is also an element of like, this is something that corporate shouldn't have to mandate, but like when you're working with a team of people and you're doing something that like makes someone else uncomfortable, that can be a problem. So you do need to set some standards, but that can vary from team to team.
so if you get hurt at home, does it fall under workman's comp? I would say no.
It does.
But
It does?
It does.
Okay, but like, once again, like,
You have to be like in the middle of a meeting and getting hurt.
No, as
You have
long
to
as
be
you're on the clock, it'll fall under workers' comp, which is why, like, when they send you to work from home, they should be doing a safety study wherever it is you're going to be working.
Huh.
Interesting.
Okay. I don't know how to. All right.
I love having you on this fucking podcast for shit like this. It's great. I
No,
love it.
I'm telling you, this is
Because we
what.
need our own HR person. And
Yep.
hi, Jesse.
I'm telling you, Bronson, you get into Xbox somehow, and then I'll join some VR group, and then we'll just become a game dev podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Lordy.
Damn it. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I think, I don't know. I guess I think you've heard our piece.
I mean, yeah, I will say companies are very like worried about workman's comp claims because like last year I was in the cafeteria and then slipped because like they just mopped. Tater tots went everywhere. You know.
No, the tater tots.
But like I got up, brushed myself off, my knee hurt a little bit. You know,
So
I cleaned it up, go to my desk, I'm fine. But like an hour later, like my manager and some dude from maintenance are over at my desk asking me, like, be like, "Hey, are you okay?" You know, like, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, "Dude, I'm fine. I just fell."
You got to sign this
Like,
form anyway.
It's like, yeah, you sign this thing. If you want to submit a workman's comp claim, it's in your email. If not, decline. You know, it's just like okay.
Shit is expensive, but it's also a cost of doing business.
Well, it is, but it's also just like the immense freak out about it was just such a weird thing for just like, I'm 30 and I slipped and fell in the cafeteria. Let's calm down now.
Never know. Look, gotta cover your ass.
You know. I get it. You know, fucking, it's still just the
don't sue us committee. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, the don't sue us.
What it is. That's what it is.
Pretty much.
Oh man.
Oh lordy.
Well,
yes, well.
Man, Activision Blizzard, just highs and lows.
It's like literally every time something great happens, it's like they're back on track, baby. It's like, oh, never mind.
How do we fuck this up?
It's like, I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop on Dragonflight. Like, Dragonflight has all this goodwill. It's super fun. The casual content's great. The hardcore content's great. The story's been pretty good for the most part. Like, they're checking all these boxes, and I'm just being like, all right, how are you going to fuck it up?
Where is it?
Where's it coming?
Yeah, like the patch schedule's been amazing. That new battle pass thing that's just part of your sub has been amazing. Like leveling is fast and fun. Like I'm just like, where are we fucking it up today? When's it happening?
Give it time. Give it time. They're working on Diablo 4.
Yeah, that beta's next month.
Oh, that's right. So... Yeah.
Yep. You can buy a double down to get early access to it.
Yep.
Is it a double down? Is that what it's called? The KFC sandwich?
I didn't know that that's a thing. I just I know you can pre-order to get early access to it.
No, yeah, you can buy it's 2 pieces of breaded chicken or grilled chicken, I guess, with Swiss cheese and bacon in the middle.
Yeah, it's a double down. I remember when that was a huge thing a few years ago.
I would buy that and then give the sandwich to someone else.
All right.
It's probably like the best meal for people who are on low carb diets because it's
high protein.
2 pieces of grilled chicken, and some bacon and cheese.
Yeah, that is definitely a keto friendly meal, I guess.
It sure is.
All right.
I don't know. I know closer to launch, I'm probably gonna buy the fancy edition of that so I can get a Warcraft mount and whatnot. But not in time to get early access to it. Because also for betas to games like that, I don't want to play it much because it's like, well, all this is gonna go away anyway.
Yeah.
Yep. So, fuck, man.
All right.
Oh my god, wow, this is really coming full circle. Remember when we were talking about gaming and food promotions for like 4 weeks?
It was like months. It was months. There was some news happening involving some fast food chain doing something crazy.
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
Bring back the Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Oh, no. I want them to do the food raid thing again, where you have to take a team of like 5 people to attack a menu of items. That's dumb and fun. I would love that.
That was I remember when we read that KFC story. I'm like, this is gonna kill someone.
Yeah,
this was out of China, and this is gonna kill someone.
Yep,
that's right. Yep. Well, and even like Final Fantasy isn't immune to it. There was a while there where you could buy stuff through Grubhub, and if you used a certain code,
that's in Final Fantasy. Pizza emote. I have it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shit, fuck.
surprised WoW never got in on that. Like Final Fantasy was really big on it, and then like WoW never like they did the Mountain Dew tie-in,
Right.
and then that was it.
I mean, Mountain Dew. What else you need? That's World of Warcraft Mountain Dew Doritos.
Yeah,
Done.
absolutely.
Good, you did
Back
it.
when WoW was the biggest game in the world.
Yep.
So
all right.
All right. Some good employer news though.
I love good employer news.
Those are the best.
It's rare. It's very rare. Sega is giving its employees significant raises effective July 1st. Employees will receive a 30% salary increase.
Wow.
That is crazy. That is so expensive.
Well done, Sega.
That is like, bro, you want to talk about fighting inflation?
Yeah.
Holy
there you
fuck.
go, buddy.
You know, like
they have to be doing really well, or layoffs are imminent.
well, Japanese companies can be
usually one
really
of the two.
afraid of layoffs, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing. And you know, with how well Yakuza's doing and Persona, I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing really well.
Sonic did better than they expected. You know?
It did.
Yeah.
So they're on the up and
that
up.
game is a masterpiece.
Yes.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Okay.
It certainly looks like a Sonic game.
Yes, but Sega has announced 30% salary increase beginning July. It says it's going to invest in human resources so it can create more comfortable working environment. We'll continue our efforts to realize a system that allows our employees to grow while realizing diverse work styles and to further experiences that move the heart globally, Sega said in a statement. According to the game publisher and developer, this increase will see starting salaries rise in 35% in total from $16.34 to $22.28 on an annual salary basis. The average increase rate will work out to about 15% across the company.
Okay.
That's still huge. That's still really fucking big.
It's expensive.
Like that's still like, considering I 6 months ago or whatever it was got a raise of 3.5%. Like that's fucking huge.
Yep.
Let's see. The announcement came shortly after Nintendo confirmed they'll pay workers 10% more, as Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida urged companies to increase salaries to offset the rising cost of living due to inflation. Sega's ability to offer a hefty salary increase comes in the wake of its latest big budget game, Sonic Frontiers, exceeding the company's expectations. Yeah, no, and they have Like a Dragon Ishin just came out.
Yep.
And they're doing really well, and I love to see it, because like in my experience, most of the time corporate raises are very stingy. Yep. Like I remember one time it was like a 1.2% raise, and they're like, "Yeah, raises."
Yep.
I'm like, what? No. It's not a raise. It's an insult.
I like that these companies were in such a position that the prime minister was just like, "Can you increase salaries to offset the cost of living?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, no, we have that here. All right, sure."
Yeah, we can do that right here. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, we'd love to see that happen in this country. But,
yeah.
Guys, you don't want
Get back to working in offices to fund these restaurants.
Yep.
Millennials are killing the fast food industry.
I actually saw a great news story this week that was like, I forget who it was, but it was a financial newspaper or magazine being like, to save money, you should consider skipping breakfast.
Yep.
I skip breakfast every morning. Your point?
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? I skip breakfast most mornings. Still poor.
See?
I'm eating a banana. That's my breakfast. What? Is this a problem? Is this causing problems for you?
Yeah, well, and like you see the arguments of like millennials and Gen Z are saying too much unnecessities and it's ruining the economy. It's like, because it's what we can afford, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you. I think we did. I looked at like how much it would have cost to buy like a house last summer that like I grew up in. Mm-hmm. Like my parents bought this house, but then my dad passed when we had to sell it. But it was like $110,000. Now it's up to like $570 something.
Yeah.
And like we added like, okay, to have affordable payments on the salary I currently make, might have to have like a $270,000 down payment.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Is that for like a
Yeah,
20
you
year,
want to be
30 year?
depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm gonna live out of a van. That's my long term plan.
Van life.
Jesus
Fuck yeah.
fuck. No.
I mean, there was always that threat of just like, you'll be living in a van down by the river, and now people are literally living
We're
in
doing it.
mobile
In a van
homes
down.
Man,
down
you know,
by
I
the
could live in a
river.
van down by the river.
Yeah. Hey. Wow.
Oh God.
Man,
Uh,
you're complaining about people playing fighting games on Wi-Fi before. Wait till you go playing off a satellite in a van in Ohio.
Wait till they're playing off 3G.
oh yeah,
Oh
no.
God.
Yeah, I hooked
Man.
my PS5 up to my my iPhone's up to my iPhone internet,
Yep.
and I don't know, it seems to work fine.
Yeah, I
God.
don't know what everybody else is complaining about.
Yeah.
Well,
Lord.
good on Sega. I'm always happy to see Sega doing well.
I am too. They make Yakuza and they own Persona, so oh no, Ohio ref.
Yes,
Oh
I made
God.
an Ohio reference. I'm sorry,
Dear
everyone.
Lord. Yeah. So fucking
Been in the news
man.
lately.
Yeah. Weird how these professionals said this thing for years was gonna happen.
Weird.
And fucking the people behind the money didn't listen. And it caused a disaster. Huh. Hmm.
Oh
Go
well.
figure.
Yep. Okay. Next up is shocking nobody. Microsoft confirms Game Pass cannibalizes game sales.
Yep.
No shit.
They tried to backtrack it later.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did they
Yeah,
really?
they released a press release about it. That
Oh fuck.
trying to justify the cannibalization of sales.
Trying to
Well,
justify.
well, I think that there's a reason developers take those deals, and they realize because it's it's extra promotion, it's guaranteed money,
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is. So
Well, let's see. Let's see. Report on Microsoft. Admission. Microsoft also submitted that its internal analysis shows a redacted % decline in base game sales 12 months following their addition on Game Pass. Doesn't help. Yeah, see, runs counter to Xbox head Phil Spencer claiming made in 2018 that Game Pass boosts sales rather than undermines them. When you put a game like Forza Horizon 4 on Game Pass, you instantly have more players of the game, which is actually leading to more sales of the game, Spencer said, adding, you say, well, isn't everyone just going to subscribe for $10 and go play this thing? But no, gamers find things to play based on what everybody else is playing.
which is true to an extent.
To an extent, but like this is exactly what well, I mean, we've been using Game Pass forever. Like, I'm not buying Hi-Fi Rush. I'm getting Game Pass and I'm playing it, and then I'm out. And I don't know how that translates to money to the developers through Game Pass because they're not really forthright on how that whole system.
Well, Hi-Fi Rush, that div is owned by Microsoft.
Well, yeah, that one,
yeah,
obviously.
but like, if I had to take a guess, if it's like, let's say it's something like Tunic, it isn't owned by Microsoft, then they'll probably set up a deal where like, hey, if you X many downloads, we'll pay you X percentage of what we make
Right.
off of subs. That's probably would be my best guess.
Yeah.
And then like, if a game pops off on Game Pass, then other people on other platforms who don't have that option are gonna have to buy it, and I could definitely see that, and then just the raw promotion because a lot of people are just getting out and trying it,
Right.
Because like Hi-Fi Rush looked dope, but I'm in a situation where paying $40 for an unknown like that not gonna happen.
Yeah. I guess what my concern is, does this affect overall sales? If this means like companies take a hit, then yeah, it's a problem. But if your complaint is that it's cannibalizing buy to play sales, as this quote says here, like that's not a full picture of what they're getting.
Yeah.
But Microsoft has not been very transparent about how much people are getting, so we're just kind of left in the dark about whether this is any good or if this is good for Microsoft.
I'm sure we'll find out more as
Yeah.
they get into the nitty gritty on this buyout.
Yeah, as it goes on, right? Like it's frustrating. It's been really frustrating because we've been talking about this for years now. There was a path to make all this work out, but like the secrecy behind how Game Pass works to get people paid, combined with not being able to get some games out, been tough. So, which then goes back to, hey, Sony's doing like what you're supposed to do as a traditional console maker, and everyone's like, fucking yeah. It's like, if this is how it's gonna be, then like yeah, then Sony's putting work into VR that few people are actually doing. Like they're actually like doing quite all right. It just feels like, I don't know.
So what I'm understanding here is, from what I'm finding by digging in the internet, as far as like they pay like a flat. So every developer gets their own deal.
Yeah.
And then Microsoft pays a flat rate up front, right? So like so like let's say for like let's say Tunic. Oh, Tunic's not high profile. We'll pay you like $800,000 to put Tunic on Game Pass, and then X amount per X downloads. So it's game by game basis basically.
Right.
Which is also probably why I'm not sure if you've noticed, but tons of high profile indie games get on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Constantly. And that's, if I were to take a guess, it's because getting $800,000 up front if you're an indie studio is a really big fucking deal. So that's probably why you see a lot of that and not a whole lot of like other games, or
Yeah,
bigger games.
if that tracks, then yeah, all your big AAA titles are going to have to come from studios owned by Microsoft, because otherwise a lot of those developers would see more benefit going to places where
Buy
you
it.
just have to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, like or like Monster Hunter Rise is on here. I'm sure that Capcom like, the Switch version already came out. Well, that's where the real money is. Yeah, you can have this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're looking at their because you look at their like recent releases. It's like Madden. Okay, football season's over, but sure. Hi-Fi Rush, owned by them. Persona, old but popular. Like it they put out that they did put out that JoJo fighting game on Game Pass though, so I guess that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Guardians of the Galaxy is on there now, I believe.
It just puts them in an interesting spot when you think of like the console wars. Of like
War has changed.
PlayStation and PC kind of just going. They're getting first dibs on those bigger titles. Nintendo's doing their Nintendo thing, and then Xbox kind of resides in this middle ground where they're getting either some of these AAA titles later, or they're buying the studios so that they can make them in house. And then like they're operating in this little middle area because like indie is happening on itch.io or just releasing straight to Steam or those other places. So like there's just this weird middle spot that Microsoft resides in, and the question is, can they maintain that?
Yeah. And then it's like how, like that there's a lot of stuff on here where I'm curious how they will get, if they'll ever get the big games out there that they bought those studios.
Yep.
Like
they don't need
Starfield.
Call of Duty. Like
no,
they're gonna get money from a bunch of places. We were talking about last time. They're gonna get half of it from mobile stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's plenty to be made still for them there, but I don't know. They're in a rough spot. 2023 has been the year of like, man, what the hell is Microsoft gonna do? Because my patience kind of ran out late last year. Actually, this year, January, when they did all those layoffs, it's like, well, Okay. After all
Well,
that.
right. Like and you did it too because they're funding Azure and they're trying to get Azure off the ground in a big way. And like that's fine, but like guys, you want to break into games, you want to be a big name in games. Like you need to actually put out fucking big name games. And it's not that I don't use or like my Xbox. I've been playing the Hi-Fi Rush all week. I really enjoyed Turtles last year, As Dusk Falls. I really like. There was a lot of good stuff on Game Pass over the past year, but it like there was no big tentpole release. Like yeah, if you want like Monster Hunter Rise is dope. It's on Game Pass now. Play it. It's
Yeah.
cool, great game. But it's also old and not like people aren't gonna give a shit.
Right. Yep. Who does ukulele?
I know the publisher of ukulele because I used to get emails from them constantly.
Was it about ukulele?
You just buy the developer's ukulele and then make a new Banjo Kazooie.
I mean, yeah, and
Mhm.
they did that really good 2D platformer that was Playtonic.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
they're owned by Team 17, but I'm not sure. Give me one
Okay.
sec.
Okay. If you're gonna go the buy studio route, you own some IPs, and there are developers out there that want to make those games, basically.
Mhm.
So, they're a dev and a publisher, though Team 17 did publish their first 2 games. And then they published BPM, Bullets per Minute, Demon Turf, Little
Nice.
Gator Game.
Well,
Mm.
they're a
So
good studio.
yeah, and they're a bunch of old rare guys,
And
yeah.
here's the thing. I know Microsoft is Microsoft, but like you don't even have to buy them. Just do a deal. You can just do a business deal.
Well, they were very big fans doing that shit for a very long time.
Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah,
buy everything.
they
Mhm.
paid to have Tomb Raider exclusive for a year. They paid to have fucking Call of Duty maps first forever. They did a lot of that shit, and I don't know why they stopped. And
But Sony
that news
didn't.
this
So
and then they had that news this week of like, yeah, we're gonna mainly focus on just cosmetics and no other real content for Halo and work on a new Halo. And it's just and they're moving Halo to Unreal, which it makes sense, but it's just like the thing about why that's so frustrating is like the core of Halo, like the core of Halo Infinite is really good. It's
yeah.
fun. It looks great. Like they didn't need to do this way.
Nope. Made it
And
hard
like
on themselves.
like I said, like I'm looking at my Xbox games from last year, and it's like, like they put out Mass Effect Legendary Edition on there. Secret Return to Monkey Island was on there. Plague Tale Requiem. These are all great games. Like, no doubt, you should play these if you have a Game Pass on an Xbox or a good enough PC. Chained Echoes is on there, but like for every one of those, there's like, there's not anything that was a Halo at its high, or Forza at its high, or like 360 era stuff. Like, and Dead Rising, that was them making a deal, right?
Yep.
They said, hey, we'll help
Yep.
fund this and publish it.
Yep.
Lost Planet, same thing. Like, we'll help make this happen.
And there are people
Like,
out there that want to play more of those games.
yes, I would love this channel to play a new Lost Planet. That sounds fucking awesome.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I'd love to do some more Dead Rising.
Yes.
But here we are.
Yep. So yeah. All right. Next. So that's that. Microsoft. They're in a very weird place.
They continue to be in a weird place.
I hope they get it together.
One of these days.
In short. So next up is, hold on. Tekken 8. It's been confirmed when it's going to be out by.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Things are looking quite well for Bandai Namco. Sales are up 18% overall, profits are up 15%, and video game sales are up 19%, with Elden Ring cited as the top performer. Yeah, I think they said Elden Ring is like doing like over 100% better than they thought it would.
Wow.
Shit.
But when talking with Bandai Namco, they said they expect Armored Core and Tekken to both be out by the end of its next financial year, which would be March of 2024.
You know, that's a good amount of time from Street Fighter. I know those crowds don't necessarily overlap, but you know, a good amount of time for people to enjoy Street Fighter and just concentrate on Street Fighter for a while.
Yes.
Tekken comes out next year. That'll be fine. Absolutely fine.
Or late this year. That's another thing. But
yep.
A couple other things noted here is it said Tekken titles. So Tekken 8, and then what they are speculating is, at least this article, is that Tekken 7 will get a bundle with all of its DLC.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
No, not at all. Like, yeah.
Not in the slightest.
That's
no.
good. Because apparently DLC characters are where it's at. Or
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want to talk about
Like
fighting
Akuma.
game business practices. Yeah, like God damn it. Yeah. Did you guys watch the video where they were explaining their new mechanics for Tekken?
No.
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Yes.
Okay, Ninja, you might be able to explain it better than I can, but like they're taking Tekken 8 and making it more aggressive. The joke is he was watching these Tekken tournaments and they were doing like really defensive footsies the whole time, and he's like, "What the fuck is this? You gotta fight."
This is a fighting game, aren't you fighting?
Footsies? What the fuck?
That's
Footsies.
a term in fighting games.
It's a fighting game term.
Is it really?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
learned this recently myself.
Okay.
You gotta be just out of range of them and try to bait an attack so you can punish.
Oh,
Yep.
that's what it's called. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Apparently,
didn't
some
know
people
that.
don't like calling it footsies. They like calling it like neutral or something else, you know. But
Yeah,
whatever.
it's neutral. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
They just don't like the term footsies. I guess I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah.
I switch between the two.
Yeah.
So
Um,
depending on the
sure
game and the
that-
situation.
Pretty sure the term came around from like Street Fighter 2 when your longest reaching move was a crouching kick. So you're trying to hit each other with your feet,
Okay.
which translates to footsies.
Okay.
That would check out.
I just it made sense to me because you would watch these characters move back and forth. And they would just step forward, step back, step forward.
Mm-hmm.
The most annoying part of playing Street Fighter.
Yeah. So there are probably a number of fighting games that did this before, but it makes me think of Bloodborne, which is like you fight to get your health back.
Yeah,
Along with a heat system and all that. Ninja, can you explain this new system if you can remember off the top of your head? Because
They have like a like an aggression meter kind of, and they have like kind of like a comeback mechanic similar to X Factor, but you can use it whenever, and it gives you like armor and makes your moves hit harder, and you can like cancel things and other things. That's about all I remember. Is that you're right in that they're trying to make the game more aggressive, and they have like a way to counter it if you're a more defensive player or like a zoning kind of player. But it'll be interesting to see like how this changes the game. It's an expansion of the rage mechanic that's in Tekken 7 essentially.
Okay. Yeah, it's all about trying to get people to do stuff.
Yeah.
The moment you get hit, you want to come back quick as possible to get that health back.
Yep.
Hopefully that makes it a more exciting thing to watch, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'm excited for them. This is good. Yeah. This will be a good time. We're leading up to Street Fighter 6. We'll get to enjoy Street Fighter 6 for a while, and then we got Tekken coming out maybe late this year or most likely early next year. And I think that'll be fun. We can concentrate on that when that happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
And good for Bandai Namco putting out some good games.
Indeed. Elden Ring. They just put out the PS5 version of Dragon Ball Kakarot.
Nice.
It's only $20 too.
Hey, all
That's
right.
not bad.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
yeah. Granted, the game has $60 of story DLC that's out. That
Oh
wasn't out at
God, of
launch.
course.
It's pretty good stuff, other than the one where you fight Beerus, because it turns that game into a roguelite.
Oh,
But
okay.
Oh, that's weird.
Huh.
That's weird.
well, not a roguelite because it's not fully randomized, but like it's basically just like if you did not finish the story at level 100, in order to fight Beerus properly, you need to get him to level 100, and there's all these like training missions with Whis.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
it's weird.
All right.
All right. Next up, speaking of fighting games, a MultiVersus has dropped below 1,000 players.
Dude.
Oh
Sure
shit.
has.
Yeah, I mean, this article gets into why, right? It's like,
Well, I feel like they didn't do enough with it.
is that what happened? Because they
Well,
peaked at 153,000 players at the same time launch week.
hmm
That's just through Steam. But it's now at less than 1,000, and it says it's popular due to its Super Smash Bros. Style take on various Warner Brothers. Yep. You listen to this podcast, you know what MultiVersus is. Roster was strange. However, what could be the cause for MultiVersus' dip in players is its sporadic content drops, which is a common problem that many live service games, especially heavy hitters like Destiny 2 and Apex Legends. Also, it's harder to stand out in the ever-expanding live service space. Yeah, it's almost like the games as a service thing kind of blows up when everyone's doing it.
hmm
I cannot stress enough to to game developers and publishers. If you just make a good video game
Hmm?
and put out the good video game
Yep.
that's finished, you can continue making money off of it with DLC, but you have to put out the finished one first.
Yep.
That's the thing. That's the magic trick. The only reason that Destiny got away with that shit is because it was one of the only ones at the time.
Right.
All right? We got options now. One of them's Destiny.
Yeah.
You know. No, and like people are still playing Smash Ultimate.
Yep.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Pathetic. I mean yeah, like people are still playing Smash Ultimate because
Yep.
like the base game, even before the 2 season passes, or is it 3? Either way, it's awesome.
2.
It's great. It's a full roster. It's a complete game. It's super fun. It wasn't glitchy at all. It was polished. It was awesome. It was the only way to describe it. And like you put out this game as kind of like a promise of like, oh, it's like we're kind of running it like a MOBA, but not really. And like
hmm
you could do a great fighting game as a service that's free to play. I fully believe that. I think this was a perfect example of if you did a free like they had the IP, they had the free to play launch, they just didn't have enough stuff. You know. And also they were dropping DLC after the first few weeks. Well,
fun.
yes. That doesn't feel good, and then like the fact that but it was free, so I was a little more understanding of that. You know, game was free.
Yeah.
Didn't cost me anything. So I wasn't really upset when they're like, all right, we're going to give you one character for free, and then we're going to do weekly rotation. Like they ran it like a MOBA, but a lot of people are going to compare it to Smash.
Yep.
And since you're comparing it to Smash, like you're going to look at the roster size and the stuff to do, and really all there was play against other people or go into training mode. Like that was it. It was the Street Fighter V problem. You know, like as much as the core FGC likes to be like, oh, it's all about training mode and a good online and a good versus mode, that's not what most people play. Like it's just not. It just fucking isn't.
Yep.
You know, and then it had the free to play problem of like I logged into it just now. It's just like here's all these currencies and fucking everything and a collection and here's all these dailies and milestones and fucking shit you can grind.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, it's gross. It's super gross, and that's a shame because when you got into the core combat and you look at the roster is super cool. Like Batman,
Yep.
Superman, Wonder Woman, Shaggy, fucking Iron Giant, Marvin the Martian, Black Adam, Rick and Morty, like that, like Finn from Adventure Time. Like great roster, fun characters, good combat, but like yeah, just not just it felt like a monetization tool
Yeah.
more than a game at points. So yeah, that's gross. It's
Yeah.
super gross.
And there's that. There's stuff to do in the game. Separating that game from Smash Bros. Enough so that it has its own identity to stand on its own. There's a number of obstacles needed to clear, and they were hoping that they had a good enough game combined with the IP to get people talking about the game.
Yep.
And
Which they got people talking, they just couldn't maintain it.
couldn't maintain it.
Yep.
What they should do, they should make a new game, and it's just MultiVersus, but they're all NBA players. Drama that goes on in NBA, Jesus Christ, you could do all sorts of shit.
What they should do is they should just put out a finished version of MultiVersus.
They could do that too, I guess.
Its endurance as a meme only kept it going as long as it did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fair.
That first wave was just like, hey, we did the Super Saiyan Shaggy thing. Cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like there's a bunch of fun Rick and Morty memes like that. There's stuff there, but it wasn't great.
Yeah,
for sure.
well.
Real bummer.
Got kids interested for a couple months and then over.
GG's.
Yep.
GG.
All right, so next up, very interesting. Titanfall and Apex devs start a brand new studio.
Yeah,
weird.
This out. Wonder what news story that happened last week that could have prompted this.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently the director of that canceled Titanfall 3 campaign was just like, fuck this, I'm out. And here we are.
Yeah. Yep.
So
all right, what are the quotes here? Do we get some quotes? We are a new, fully funded entertainment studio, hyper-focused on creating big, bold, original gaming universes of epic quality and scale. We've been quietly working on a new IP for some time, and while it'll be a bit before we can say more, we're beyond excited for what's to come. Yeah, they were working on that Titanfall project. It fell through or just was canceled by the company or whatever. And now all the people who were part of the original separation from Activision to make Respawn are now here. Remember when that all went down?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I was listening to the podcast or the Giant Bombcast, and like in the middle of recording, it's like, okay, we're hearing that security has headed into Activision, and or Infinity Ward. They were going into Infinity Ward. That's what they were called, and like escorting people out. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? And then they went on to make cool shit.
They had like a bunch of unpaid bonuses from Call of Duty, and they're like profit sharing. Like that was nuts, dude. So
wow. Yep. So yeah.
Yeah, so Zampella is still over at EA and Respawn though.
Yep.
The head of those studios, but this is still very interesting.
Yeah, I'm a little bummed they say just former Respawn developers. I mean, maybe they're not like the big front names everyone knows, but they're Respawn developers. So I can't help but hope. Like when they separated from Infinity Ward and they went and did their own thing, and then they came up with Titanfall, and I just remember those interviews about Titanfall and just them talking passionately about making a fun video game for the purposes of fun. And it's like, God damn, you're right. God, I'm so glad you guys are here doing this. And I can't help but wonder what's going on now. Respawn's doing great. They're doing good stuff. But it seems like a classic case of, I don't know, maybe they took on too many projects and it's they can't do it all, or it's corporation meddling. I don't know.
I think that in this particular instance, I think it's a lot of EA is like, well, we want to do the thing that makes the most money, which is Apex and Star Wars. So you're gonna make fucking Apex and Star Wars,
Right.
and them being creative individuals are like, fuck that, we'll go make bootleg Titanfall. I mean,
yeah. Let's do it, man. That's what
Yeah.
I want.
Yeah.
The wall running, shooting, and mech fighting.
Yeah.
All I
100%.
want.
Yeah.
Yes,
Who wouldn't
absolutely.
want that? Shit.
We should fire up that multiplayer. So there have to be enough people playing Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2 multiplayer is pretty fucked right now.
Oh, okay.
Aww.
Oh.
They are essentially under like they've been DDoS attacked for like a year and a half now.
Why?
Oh, no.
Why would you do
Yeah,
that to them?
You're not gonna be able to play them.
They're already suffering.
They're one of the
What?
better
Don't
developers.
Make it worse, you assholes.
Like, there's no reason.
Their justification for it is that EA needs to fix EA, right, needs to fix the servers.
Not how they don't care.
Yeah,
They don't give two shits about anything.
They don't
Yeah,
care.
this is the dumbest shit. The dumbest shit.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Just
so
fucked.
you won't be able to play that multiplayer.
Okay.
Assholes.
Yeah. I hope this goes well. I want to see these guys make a new game. I hope it's Titanfall-esque. Blackcatter says I have a real bad feeling about this. And it could go sideways.
Yeah, well, like
Mhm.
for every ukulele in the impossible lair, you have Mighty Number 9.
Yup.
So
yeah. And the people that are coming over from Respawn, it's not the way Infinity Ward pretty much went wholesale into Respawn.
yeah, so because I'm sure there are plenty of people who made and are working on Apex and working on other stuff and are completely happy with it. So
yeah. I just wish they had gone like, here's a Titanfall mode, but it's still games as a service. We can add like a whole separate mode. Like,
yeah, they could have been like, hey, Titanfall people, this is for you.
Here's a Titanfall battle royale. It's just a different mode. We can inject these characters into this, and we just create different like mechs and stuff. Like, they could have done that,
Exactly.
and they would have had me forever.
Exactly. No, they absolutely could have done like just it as a mode. Animicity and new game companies are sometimes not a good mix for consumers. I think it depends.
It depends.
There have definitely been some spite leaves that turn out really well, and some spite leaves that blow up in their face.
Yeah.
I mean, would you classify Titanfall as one of those?
Oh yeah, that's totally a spite leaf.
That's what I think. Like, but that was also like because that went so poorly, the entire studio went over and said we made one of the best shooters ever. We're going to make another best shooter just to spite you.
Yeah, like, and then you have Daikatana where spite leaves are like, oh, that was bad.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Shit.
So I think it just depends upon the studio and the people and what their game plan is. Like, you know, because if they make a really good Titanfall, like, people will play it and probably enjoy it.
Yep.
So
I'll look this guy up here. Chad Rainier.
That sounds right.
Going to his. Better not have anything embarrassing on here, Chad. Call it out. Let's see. Yeah, Respawn for 11 years, 9 months. Designer at Activision Infinity Ward since 2003 until that fateful day.
So, like, since Call of Duty 1. All right.
Yep. Okay. This is designer, game director from 2019 to 2021. Design director from May 19th for May 2019. Lead design scripter. Okay. I that sounds like good hands to me.
Yeah. I think anybody who's been with that company that long probably knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and I'm guessing he started this studio, which started in December of 2021. So they've been working on something for a year and 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Well,
I'm
I wish
excited.
them all the best.
Yeah,
I want cool video games.
that's all I want.
That's all any of us
I'm asking
want.
for.
Yeah. Specifically, though, in this case, like, and that's the thing. It doesn't have to be Titanfall. I'm attached to that concept, what they made
Because it's
there.
a fucking awesome concept.
It's such a
Yeah.
good, like, not just like they just nailed getting a good shooter down with the way they just the basic shooter stuff, and then they added the mech fighting and
And then they were like, let's add some sick ass movement to this.
the
Really-
best movement that has probably ever been in a shooter, unless you count Vanquish. Even then, Vanquish goes so far in on that it's like,
Playing Vanquished at times, like, just was like, oh,
oh god.
hey, let's calm it down. Let's slow this down for a minute.
But Titanfall nailed it.
That said, you should play both of those games because they're both incredibly affordable most of the time and awesome as fuck.
Absolutely, you should.
Anyway, I think we should take a quick 5-10 minute break and then get into what we've been playing and call it a day.
All right, you guys, we're gonna take a quick break. We will be right back to talk about video games for a change.
Video games.
Yep.
On our video game podcast. What a novel idea.
Yeah, I know. All right. Be right back, you guys. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na. All right. Oh, we're back. Hello. Hi. How's
Hey,
everyone?
people.
Ooh,
We
tired.
have returned.
Woo. Ah, that's an all right news section. Good.
Yeah, good discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing terribly depressing this week.
Not terribly.
Oh no, of course not.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Mhm.
You just got to get a little sadness in you.
Bronson,
Yeah.
what have you been playing?
Hey. I put some more time into Hi-Fi Rush. I'm about 70% of the way through it.
Okay.
Oh shit. Okay.
The game's awesome. I really hate the parry boss. The boss that is all parries.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
really?
That thing can go fuck itself.
All right.
Otherwise, been
Parries
having a great time.
kind of rough in that game.
Well, yes, but it's just like, and it wasn't particularly hard. I only died once, but it was just annoying. I get what they were going for with the story context of it, but it was just more like, okay, let's get through this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Played a whole bunch of World of Warcraft still. Our raid team is finally getting their shit together, which is nice.
Cool.
We made some adjustments. I am now one of our tanks again. And then yeah, I did some side quests with Stella the other day. Those were fantastic. The side quest content is hilarious most of the time, or just really good side stories. Like that, there was one that was just like, oh, that is incredibly fucking sad.
Oh.
Then there's one that's just like super funny, where you're like trying to translate these bear person language,
Yeah.
and like you have to pick dialogue choices, and it's just like try and replicate the growling as best you can. As one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really funny. I'm creeping away at getting Keystone Master. Will I get it by the end of the season? I'm not sure. I know I'm about to grind a lot of low level mythics soon here because they have uncapped valor.
Mhm.
So you
nice.
could, yeah. So no valor cap for the second half of the season here. So if you want a gear, the time is now.
Yep. Now's the time to do it.
Right.
So there's that. Yeah, it's like I said, it's the most fun I've had with WoW in a very long time. So and then I want to hop back into Guild Wars soon here, and then finally Dragon Ball Fighters. I loaded up Dragon Ball Fighters and did about an hour worth of sets last night online and ranked. I went undefeated because of course I did.
Because of
Nice.
course. This is you after all.
In all honesty, it has more to do with the fact that on Xbox I'm not as highly ranked.
Right.
Oh,
So I'm
yeah.
just giving people the fucking business.
Giving them hands.
Yeah, like I had a couple matches where it got close, but then Base Goku clutched it out.
Yep.
Man, if that game gets rollback, like
Game over.
it is like literally the perfect fighting game to me. I don't know how you're gonna improve upon it. So yeah, and that's basically been. What about you, Aaron?
Oh, me. I have been getting into the training mode and then reading up a lot on Tekken.
Why Tekken in particular?
I don't know.
It looks good. It's a good looking game.
It looks all right.
It is. It looks awesome. You're right about that.
I enjoy looking at it more than I like looking at Street Fighter V, for what that's worth.
That's not saying much.
I
But
know,
Sure.
I know, but
Sure.
it's
Let's go with that.
It's the fact that it's a game that I've known has been a part of gaming history for so long, and I've been around in cases like going to the Round Table Pizza in Sparks, for celebrating a Little League season, ending thing, and then going over to the Tekken 3 machine and picking Yoshimitsu and getting my ass kicked. And I said, oh, all right, Tekken, that's great. I'm going to go play Cruising the USA.
Yeah.
Why is it always?
USA.
It's always Tekken 3. Everybody's story about playing Tekken in the arcades is Tekken 3. And mine too. Like I'm not immune to this, but
Yeah.
like every time somebody talks about playing Tekken in the arcade, Tekken 3.
It's always Tekken 3.
It's because that was the one. Like Tekken 1 and 2 are popular, but 3 was the best one like for a while, and like it also was the one that like really blew Tekken up.
Yeah.
Mm,
So I think those are the two reasons why that's the one that people talk about all the time.
makes sense.
I've also read a lot of people say similar things about 5, but not to the same degree.
I
Mm.
have 5. I have the PS3 like HD re-release of 5, and like I don't know, because like I played Tekken 2 and 3, wasn't big on it. I had friends who wouldn't shut up about 5, so I played 5, wasn't big on it. I made the same mistake with 7, so and I'm about to do it again with 8, baby.
All
Let's
right. Yes. Yeah, and I've just seen these characters around for a long time, and but I've just never gotten into it. I heard it was way too hard. I was struggling with Street Fighter, so like just didn't want to do it. And then I got this fight stick. I've been buying a
go.
bunch of fighting games. And then yeah, Tekken. I don't know. I guess I saw that video on the Heat system or something. I saw something, and I was like, you know what? Let me go see what Tekken's about. And there's something. It's intimidating, but also intriguing. Whereas Street Fighter is, I think, a pretty decent way to start because it is a limited amount of special moves that you can do.
Mhm.
And then so it there's like an optimal route on how to play some of these characters. That there is certainly room for expression, how you want to do it, but like there's an optimal poke, there's an optimal like there's some optimal combos to use in certain situations. Whereas Tekken's like, yeah, you have 120 moves on this character. Figure it out.
Have fun.
That
And
said, I also think that it's a lot easier to mash and dick around in that.
it's a lot
To be
easier to
fair.
mash for sure.
Yeah.
But it's again, it's just intriguing to me because like even you see people that play Tekken, it's like, look, you are not going to remember all the moves that all of these characters do. Like, don't try. Like,
Don't even bother.
here's
Don't
what
even
people
bother.
are most likely going to rely on. Here are the tendencies of those characters based on those, and good luck, man. And
Godspeed.
I find that fun, interesting, still very intimidating. But yeah, what I'm doing now is I started up a tier list, and I've kind of just been putting characters. Here's the characters I like. Here's the characters that I'm like, whatever. And then I have like I'm not playing these characters, which is just DLC characters because I don't even know if I like Tekken yet, to be honest with you. So I just throw all the DLC characters in there. And yeah, I'm just going through the list right now because the thing with fighting games is you pick a character and you are going to spend some time with that character, so you better make sure you like them.
Fair.
So me having not actually spent a whole lot of time playing Tekken, I was like, all right, let's go with the list. I'm about halfway through right now. When I'm able to get time, all I know is that Yoshimitsu, the person I've played every time I've booted up Tekken, is so unorthodox a character that like trying to make him like the first character you learn is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
That's about right.
Okay.
yeah. So
I did Akuma and Bob.
Akuma
By
being
the-
like a Street Fighter, adjacent character would make a good entry, especially since apparently Tekken 8 they're making everyone kind of work the way Akuma is, at least with projectiles and bars to manage.
Hmm.
I'm very happy that they're just deciding like let's make this game super fucking aggro.
Yeah,
Like hell yeah.
it's gonna be interesting.
So I do want to throw this out there for everyone. Speaking of fighting games, on PlayStation Plus and on Xbox Live right now, there is a sale going on of Injustice 2 Legendary Edition. So that's Injustice with all of its DLC for $9 on Steam and $12 on PlayStation.
Oh shit.
Okay.
I own
So
Injustice.
just
Hmm.
I own the first one, but I don't own the second. So
I don't. Yeah, I don't own the second.
Okay.
mhm. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You can also get Mortal Kombat. The Mortal Kombat plus the 2 combat packs and the expansion on Steam for $20 altogether. The Injustice
Oh.
Legendary Edition, Mortal Kombat Ultimate, $20.
Yeah,
Wow.
I just saw that $20 on PlayStation as well. $20. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, Injustice 2 Legendary bundle alpha. Okay, I'm getting that.
That's like,
When does
shut
this?
up and
When
take my
does
money.
this?
I don't give a shit anymore.
Okay, this sale ends after payday. Could not ask for better. Perfect.
Yep.
Awesome.
Wow.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm messing around with that. I think we were talking about this before. I think it would be fun if we sat down and watched some Tekken story videos, watched all the way through.
Yes. Yes, they're dumb. I love those.
They're dumb, and I want to be caught up on the story, because the other option is I just play Tekken 7 story with absolutely no context and then watch those movies afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
I don't know which one would be more entertaining for people, but
Fair enough.
yeah. So maybe that's a question I'll pose in the Discord. That will determine what I stream first. Because Fight Stick is made. I've been training characters. I have an idea of who I like. I just need to make a decision to go in on a character and then spend some time with that, and then I'm ready to. And to be fair, the story mode, I imagine, like other fighting game story modes, is going to have me jump from character to character. So
Yeah. If I recall, Tekken does have you jump quite a bit from what I remember. I haven't played it in a while though, so not 100% on that one.
right,
But
and yeah, there was some discussion. I was listening to Triple KO, the fighting game podcast, with Justin Wong, Maximilian Dude, and Matt McMuscles.
Mm,
And they were saying, I have not checked it yet, but apparently Tekken 7's arcade mode is like 2 fights or something.
that's
Huh.
awesome.
it's kind of ridiculous, and it's like, I thought that was a standard in fighting games. Like, your arcade mode is 10 fights. You do the 10 fights and you go.
I thought it was 8.
The 8.
I thought it was 8.
I mean,
More than 2.
yeah,
More than 2.
that more than 2 for sure. And there was a discussion of like, well, they want to get you into the multiplayer. It's like, I understand that the lifeblood of a fighting game is multiplayer, and you want to put people into that as much as you possibly can. But at the same time, there are people who just are not interested. You don't need to have like a crazy amount of single player content, because you do want to get people into that multiplayer. But like, I feel like there's a standard that set for fighting games where you have your training mode. I think a story mode is a fantastic way to have you try out all of the characters at least once, not twice or 3 times. That's a fun, entertaining way of getting you to experience all of the characters so you can make a decision. And then you have something like an arcade mode where it's sort of like a testing benchmark for how well you know the character, and then you go online from there. That's what makes sense to me. So I find it weird Tekken 7 was like, nah, get in there. But whatever. We'll see. I hope Street Fighter 6's fighting or story mode is better, because man, I booted up Street Fighter 5 story mode recently. God damn. God, that was terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty
The best
bad.
part about that, it was
6
added
looks
after
pretty good.
launch.
Yes, it was. I had to download a separate thing for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even worth it. I can go in and change the difficulty, but the default difficulty they set it to for the story mode, it's like, it doesn't even feel like, I'm not even like mashing. I'm just like trying stuff. I'm just like trying stuff to like learn all the moves, and they're dead before I've even tested like all the moves. And wow, this is who was testing this and was like, yeah, that's good to go. Ship it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same person who made it so you can get through all Dragon Ball Fighters story mode by mashing auto combo. They just realized that like people don't give a shit largely.
Yeah. Well. It sucks. What we need better story modes. Mortal Kombat still A++. They figured it out.
Indeed.
But whatever. Wait until everyone catches up. The way everyone's been catching up with Rollback.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Rollback and crossplay before we start fighting for single player.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're getting there. We're getting there right now. If nothing else, it doesn't even have to be a story mode. Again, it's just like, here's one convenient mode that shuffles you through all of the characters. Like, it's about taking the work out of going in, playing a single versus match against AI a few times, and then jumping out and then jumping back in, or going into training mode and setting up the CPU at a certain difficulty and then playing for a while, then jumping out, picking a new character, jumping back in. Just a convenient mode of like, we're going to take you through all the characters. Maybe show like results or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't have to be story where you create these cutscenes. Just a nice, simple, convenient way of letting you explore all the characters. But I don't know. We'll see. Street Fighter 6 isn't out yet. Very curious how they're approaching that game, because that's going to be a big game. Like, obviously the multiplayers, everyone's going to be having fun with that, but Street Fighter being a big name, and they are getting that name out there right now. The advertising has pretty decent, so I wonder what they'll be offering for the casuals, people who play for single player stuff.
It looks like they're adding a ton of single player content, at least from the trailers and stuff.
I do want to go back to Tekken for a second here, real quick.
Okay.
Ninja posted this in the Discord.
Okay.
It is Steam's best review of Tekken 7.
Yeah, before you read the review, read how many hours this person has in the game first.
And he's played 495.6 hours.
Ooh. Oh my god.
437.5 at time of review.
All right.
I don't recommend this game to people that are psychologically healthy.
What? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Look, yeah, you got to commit time, and then you get your ass beat a lot.
A lot.
Apparently.
That was spectacular though.
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't recommend this game to people.
Psychologically healthy.
We got our podcast title for the week, boys.
Yeah.
I don't recommend this game to people who are psychologically healthy. Really, that's all the game we've played this week. Fighting games, MMOs, both of them.
Yep. Bad.
Just, hey, do you have OCD? Do you want to fuck with it real bad?
Here you go.
There you go.
Joy.
Fuck.
Oh, Jesus.
Man. All right. Yeah. So that's what I've been up to. Fighting games. Tekken.
Awesome. All right. What about you, Jesse? Anything new?
I played a little bit more of Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm at the point where I just want to get through the story and finish the game.
Okay.
It's an open world game, and I'm not a huge fan of open world games. But then on Wednesday, Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm came out.
Oh.
And I've got 20 hours in that game.
Nice.
Because why not?
Full Theater Rhythm.
It's a for those of you who don't know, it's a Final Fantasy Rhythm game where they take some of the best music from all of the Final Fantasy games from 1 to 15, includes like Mystic Quest, includes Final Fantasy Tactics, includes like theater rhythm specific music. There are like medleys, there are there's stuff from Dissidia, and then like you go through the world and experience the story of that particular Final Fantasy game without any like words or anything. So it's like, oh, this song is from this moment in the story, and this song is from this moment in the story, and then you beat that world, and then you unlock like a cinematic, like one of the more well-known cinematics from the game. I think Final Fantasy X is like the overworld, or not the overworld, but the otherworld cinematic from the intro.
Mm-hmm.
10-2s is 1,000 words. Um, Final Fantasy V is a cinematic that takes you through like the entire Final Fantasy V story. 14 is the A Realm Reborn cinematic where they kill off everybody in Final Fantasy 14, and then A Realm Reborn starts. If you're into Final Fantasy and you're into rhythm games, I would recommend it. It's a mashup of an auto battler, JRPG, and a rhythm game. And so you've got to balance the rhythm game aspects with the auto battling aspects, or you can ignore. See a Black Catter. You can ignore the
Black
auto
Catter.
battling piece and just play the rhythm game stuff, but the rhythm game stuff directly affects the auto battling piece. So there's a lot going on, but really you only really need to pay attention to the rhythm game stuff, and it is a lot of fun.
How does that translate not on a touch screen? Because I played that on the 3DS back in the day, and yeah, that's
Yeah, it's it did take me some getting used to because I also played it on the 3DS and then on my phone for a long time. But essentially, like you can use the face buttons to hit the things you would tap on, and the control sticks for the things that you slide on. Or you can use the shoulder buttons because you have to use. There are points in songs where you have to use both control sticks and buttons at the same time, so it's easier to use shoulders, kind of like Amplitude on the PS2.
Yeah. I have the PS4 version of that, but yes, that's actually exactly what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I think of because there are times where you have to hit four face buttons at once. So I'm hitting like the 3 shoulders and then a face button at the same time, while also using my left hand to hit the control stick. It translates pretty well.
Juggling.
Yeah, also juggling.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, well, fair enough. Okay, and that leaves Miss Emily Hulslander.
I played the update to Dreamlight Valley that came out on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
I love that. I love that we are like the only podcast in the world who has a consistent weekly Dreamlight Valley update.
I'm here for it.
I mean,
awesome.
the way that someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Someone on the internet has to cover this game, and I guess it's gonna be us.
Dude, we're gonna look into it, and there are gonna be YouTube channels that are like deep dive. Here's the optimal route through Dreamlight Valley.
All right, hold on.
There is no optimal route for Dreamlight Valley, though. That's the fucking thing.
Oh.
Because every village is different. You can have like different people in different areas for their homes and all that, but and you can have them join you on certain things.
Let me tell you, there are plenty of videos about how to make money in this game,
there
all doing like 70
I mean,
to 200K.
there are thousands of different ways. Most of it being selling gems to Goofy.
Yeah, like literally, like the number one video that isn't a GameSpot tip video from launch is how to get rich and level fast. Dreamlight Valley Money Guide. It's 169K views.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yep.
That sounds about right.
Wow.
No, but the way it starts is like it's a freak blizzard in the valley. And if you don't take care of it, it's going to get worse and worse and worse to where you can't see past the tip of your nose. Like that's how bad it is.
Oof.
There actually isn't a lot of content for this game. Like, there's like
it's still in early access, though, is the thing.
I mean, yeah, but there are plenty. Like, Emily, you might be on something. That's what I'm saying. Like I looked for a little bit, and it just turns into Stardew Valley guides.
There you go. Yep.
So yeah, aren't you guys glad that I'm covering this?
Oh, absolutely.
No. Yes, absolutely.
So what's been going on?
But so after you find the source of the blizzard, that's where you find Olaf.
Okay.
From Frozen.
Yep.
No buttons, no nose, no arms.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's been fun. Trying to chase down all the squirrels and getting all of that, and then fixing the blizzard to be back to normal. And then as you do that, you come across a magical doorknob,
Okay.
which gets you Mirabelle
All right.
from Encanto. So those
Okay.
are your two new ones that you get with this update. And there's a new Star Path to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Disneyland, or Disney in general. Yeah, 100 years in this bitch.
All right.
Nice.
So I'm currently grinding through that right now.
Hell yeah.
All right on.
And that's about it.
Nice.
All right, cool. We got anything more this week? Anything you want to do? Talk about?
What is anything happening this week as far as games are concerned, or game conferences? Or...
Kirby comes out this
Tickets.
week.
Oh, it
Okay.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
Tickets for Final Fantasy Fan Fest go on sale this week.
That's right.
Yeah,
This is true.
I loved the email they sent out of like because they track your main character on a mine. They're like, "Hello, Jim Dark Magic,"
Right. Yep.
and I'm like, that almost makes me want to buy a ticket. You fucks.
Yeah, I know. Aw. Damn.
I'm not
I
gonna.
still find it
but-
hilarious that your name on your server is Jim Dark Magic, and I'm surprised you didn't go with the James Darthadian Dark Magic the Third.
That would
Come
not
on.
fit. I guarantee you. That would not fucking fit.
Oh, that sucks.
That's funny.
Lordy.
That's
But
some
no.
bullshit.
So just like Jim Dark Magic, and yeah, it ended up being great because like when people know it's from something, that's great. But also like I can still do weird, funny bits with it that are my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah. So
I think that's it.
all right. Yeah. I know as far as game releases go, My Atomic Heart and Sons of the Forest are out this week.
Oh
Mhm.
wow.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And then next week we're getting the new Destiny expansion. Woo!
Oh boy.
Hooray!
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
PSVR 2 this week. Yay.
Oh god, that's
Is
right.
it really?
Mine is
Jesse-
Yay.
Yeah, Jesse, I want a full report. I need you to deep dive that this week.
Please.
It's doable. It's doable.
Yeah.
Everything I've been hearing about it is making me like, I'm so close to putting down the money to getting a PS5 just to play some PSVR 2 because like that's where the VR needs money. Money comes from, at this point, just devs making big games, and apparently Sony's the only one that's going to be going, all right, we're putting money towards this, let's do it. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think right
yeah.
now there's not enough that's exclusive to it to recommend picking. I don't know. Maybe Horizon's gonna blow my mind.
Right, yeah.
But I don't think there's enough that's exclusive to the PSVR 2 to make it worth picking one up.
I forget the name of the game, but they announced a survival driving game where in VR you're driving and monsters beat up your car, and then you get out and you fix your car. That sounds like fun. Good time.
I might have to add that to my list.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that's what's going on
expect to
around.
hear all. Yeah, expect to hear about all that in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As for streaming, who knows?
Yep.
Best way to get info on that is to be a part of our Discord.
You should follow our Discord.
Yes, on our Twitch page, Twitch TV, Super Gamecraft. There's a link to the Discord there, and you can come join us to talk about video games and video game news and everything else. So, but I think that's a show.
That is a show, but we
Think
should
you're right.
finish by raiding Cart Bale.
We can raid Cart Bale,
Oh, is he
sure.
on?
All right,
Yep.
Hey!
Everybody, let's do it. I want to see all of you click yes.
all right.
Click yes.
Everyone, thank you for joining. You guys listening to the podcast. We'll catch you next week.
All right, we love you guys, and we're rating him now.